Thank you very much. All right. So I wanted to do a quick review of this new Ridenour Lyrique Libertas clarinet. As you may be able to tell from my playing, I am not a very experienced clarinet player. I started playing in April during the lockdown boredom, right? I'm also not a very experienced YouTuber, but I'm sure you can't tell it from the quality of my video. So if you know anything about Ridenour clarinets, you probably know that they're all made out of hard rubber, sometimes called ebonite. That's what originally got me interested in Ridenour clarinets because, as someone who's played woodwinds for a while, I really don't like woodwinds that are made of wood. I know that sounds counterintuitive, but wood is sort of a very fragile, naturally occurring material. It easily cracks. It changes size with temperature and humidity and things like that. And it just takes a lot more maintenance. You have to oil your whatever. So whenever I can get a decent quality instrument that's not made of wood, I try to go for that. I've been able to do that for a lot of instruments. For recorders, I haven't found a good option. It seems all the best recorders are, in fact, made of wood. But yeah, when I saw that somebody was making good quality clarinets out of something other than wood, something that was more durable, hard rubber in this case, I was very excited. So I went immediately for that. This clarinet will not crack. It will not swell when it gets humid or anything like that. I think it does maybe expand and contract a little bit when it warms up as you're playing it and stuff, but it's not seriously adversely affected by the elements in a way a wooden clarinet might be. I also didn't have to play it in. I could play it for hours on the first day when I got it. So I think hard rubber is fantastic. The other thing that's special on the Libertas model, that's different from the lower end model Ridenour clarinets, is that it has reinforced keywork. A lot of people complained that the less expensive Ridenour clarinets had poor keywork and went out of adjustment quickly and stuff like that. And this has a lot of extra reinforcement in the keywork, so that hopefully won't be as much of a problem. Now, in terms of what this clarinet offers me as a player, as I mentioned, I'm a new player. I started playing in April. So I'm coming from a beginner clarinet, a Buffet Prodige model, which is a pretty good beginner clarinet, I guess, according to what people on the internet told me when they were advising me to buy it. And I got some good sounds out of it, I think. So I wouldn't want to say it's a bad instrument, but definitely as I began to improve and started getting into the higher range and stuff like that, there was a lot of stuff that simply I felt was limiting, right? And I was starting to play other instruments more and more and the clarinet less and less because I didn't feel that sense of freedom to be able to do what I wanted to do on the clarinet. So the thing that really stood out to me when I got this instrument is that it's exactly the opposite in that way. You have so much freedom. Everything I want to do, this clarinet pretty much does it, right? On my student clarinet, I had trouble crossing the break legato, right? So every time I wanted to cross the break, I had to put a little bit of tongue on it just to push it up over the edge, especially going from A to B or something. And on this clarinet, I can play it pretty much legato with no problem. Let's see if I can do it now. So there we go. Crossing the break legato. Not something I could do on my first clarinet. Other stuff let's see, in the upper clarion range and the altissimo, it's so much easier. The notes come out without really having to try to do anything weird with my mouth. I mean, obviously, when you get higher in the altissimo, you have to do things with your mouth, but that starts a lot later on the Libertas than it did on my less expensive instrument. Also, certain notes on the cheaper horn would not speak as well, or like they would be more prone to squeaking if I didn't have my embouchure just right. And this plays consistently throughout. I feel it's not as squeaky. Although I do have to say this key right here is right where my finger wants to be. So sometimes if I'm doing something, my finger will push it a little bit and then I'll get a squeak from that. But I guess I have to just improve my technique a bit so my finger doesn't accidentally hit that key. The other thing with this clarinet is the tuning. The accuracy of the tuning is crazy. I don't think I've played any other wind instrument that is as well in tune as this one. Yeah, I don't know what else to say. You can go on YouTube and see videos from Ridenour of the Libertas testing and demonstrating the tuning stability, and it's all true from my own tests also. It's crazy how in tune these clarinets are. This clarinet, I got it during the Black Friday sale, and it came with a free Homage professional mouthpiece, which is a narrower tip opening. It's my first professional mouthpiece. Before I was playing with the beginner mouthpiece that came with the Buffet Prodige, which was an urban play mouthpiece. It was a good mouthpiece. It had some good sounds in it. And at first I didn't like this mouthpiece as well because I couldn't get as nice of sounds with it. However, after I spent some more time with it, what was happening is it was responding to my embouchure a lot more. So after I figured out how to play this mouthpiece to get a better sound, now I like it much more, of course, than the beginner mouthpiece, and I can get a lot of different kinds of sounds out of it. Whereas the beginner mouthpiece was more of a one sound. No matter what you did, you got one pretty good sound. And this you have a lot more flexibility. So I can do like the focus sound, or like for more folksy things, I like to do a more breathy sound, and that's easy to do with this mouthpiece. So I think that's cool. I mean, obviously you wouldn't want that second sound in a classical setting, but for depending what you're doing, I think you can make some interesting textures there. In terms of downsides on this clarinet, there were a couple. Luckily for me, they were only aesthetic, right? So some of the metallic rings around the barrel and also around the bell, there were some glue drips around there. They don't affect playability. It doesn't really bother me, but I figured if you're getting a new clarinet, you should mention something like that in a review. There's also some discoloration, for example, on the, I don't know if it comes through on this low quality video, but there's some discoloration on the G sharp key there, and there's also something similar on the register key. I don't know what that's from. It doesn't, again, affect playability, but it should be mentioned in a review. So I guess that's about it for this beginner review of the Lyrique Libertas. It's a great sounding instrument. The best thing about it is how much freedom it gives the player. It makes everything so easy, which I think is really the best thing an instrument can give a player. You know, there's so many variables that affect sounds. You can change your mouthpiece, your barrel, your bell, reed size, your embouchure, of course. But you need an instrument that's not going to fight you, right? And I feel like the Libertas is exactly that, right? It makes everything, whatever you want to do, it's going to let you do it. So there it is. Goodbye.